We are in final step of project monitoring and control. So in previous sessions we discussed about framework, how framework is used to assess the various project products and project deliverables and various project tasks, and reporting, how to report to the higher officials on the status of the whole project development. So in this session we'll discuss cost monitoring, defect tracking and issues tracking. So cost monitoring. In the previous session, end value analysis is useful to inspect the whole project schedule during the development. So that is, it gives the various end value statistics on the project tasks from day 1 to day n. What is the scheduled budget and what is the implemented budget and what is the final budget. So that we are doing cost monitoring. A project could be late because the staff originally committed have not been deployed. So from day one onwards, we discussing like effort is the major part in software development. So what do you mean effort? Identifying the right number of human resources and allotting the sufficient number of human resources. If you add the human resources at earlier stages, we can easily develop the product and deliver to the client by the given deadline. But actually in industry it is not happening. So how many staff are originally committed to develop the whole product, that many number of staff are not deploying or not assigning. That's why projects are getting delayed. So it shows the impact on the project schedule. So we'll see that in coming sessions. Allocation of resources. So in this case the project will be behind time but under budget. Behind time, so it takes more time to develop the whole product. Of course it is in under budget only. A project could be on time but only because additional resources have been added and so by over budget. So here if you add the resources, that is human resources, software resources, hardware resources and various other environment factors that are required to finish the product, if you add these resources on time, we can easily finish it. If not, if we add the resources at lately, so that is a later stages of the development, that is during testing or maintenance, or sometimes we are trying to adding during deploying. So it leads to over budget. So we need to identify the right number of human resources at the time of commitment and deploying the same number. If possible, deploy more than the identified. Then we will deliver the product by the given deadline to the client. Need to monitor both achievements and costs. So achievements what? During development from top to bottom, the initial problem is divided into various modules. All modules are divided into furtherly submodules into lower level elements, objects, and their costs. During development, what is the cost of the object and task and parent task, grandparent task, and so on. And how many are scheduled for this week, for this month? How many are achieved? So, what do you mean that achieved? Finished by the given deadline without overlapping the schedule. How many are finished? And what is the cost applied or implemented on the achieved task? So, we need to monitor these things. So, that we will discuss furtherly in allocation of resources in the next session. So this is about cost monitoring. Then defects tracking. So during development, various defects are identified. It's not same like as an error. So what do you mean defect? Why defects are occurring during development? We'll see. So defects can occur at any stage in the software development cycle due to mainly to human error. So defects are occurred because of human error. So that is the various human resources are involving in terms of analyst, designer or architect or developers, group of developers, probably hundreds of thousands are working, test engineers, maintenance engineers, content writers, etc., etc. So here, due to the human errors, these defects are happening during the project schedule, also in development of the project. Why humans are doing mistakes? So what is the first step in software development? Defining the problem. So prior to defining the problem, collecting the requirements from the client, that is customer communication, collecting the requirements from the client. So in order to collect the requirements from the client, we will use generally the globally accepted language. What is the language? English. English language is used to define the problem. So the greatest flexibility or advantage or disadvantage of English like language is we can understand our own way, the others can understand their own way. So one thing may be conveyed in many ways. That's why humans are doing mistakes because of poor understandings of requirements. It's not easy to predict the client mind, what the client is expecting in terms of a solution, in terms of a product. So it's not easy because the client is going to defining everything in terms of English like language. So humans makes mistakes called defects. A defect is anything that is wrong with the application that causes it to not meet the customer's requirements. Why we are not able to meet the customer requirements? Defect is anything in the project schedule from day one to day end. Anything. So the supply of human resources, the supply of papers, the supply of erasers, the supply of various other materials. So like a keyboard, mouse, internet facilities, etc. Anything is considered as a defect in the project development. So for our understanding sake, so here we discussed poor understandings. So why poor understanding? Because of global language, English language. So that's why we are not meeting because of poor understandings. So here client will use English like language. So we'll convey one thing in many way. For understanding sake, I am giving this information. So we will provide some information, good or not bad. So both will give in one way the same meaning. If someone asks you, "How are you?" Okay. So in one way we'll use the word good. Sometimes we will use not bad. So both will give same or similar kind of meaning. So here, if you see happy, I'm very happy. I'm very good. So that is giving a feeling good. So like this way, one thing may be conveyed in many ways, but depends on the understandings of the requirements by the various developers who are involved, the various designers who are involved, the various test engineers who are involved, because we are developing based on the requirements specification, that is SRS. The test engineers will test based on SRS. The deployment engineers will deploy based on the requirements specifications only. So here we will use this SRS document for everything, to analyze the problem, to design the solution, to implement the solution, to test the solution, to deploy the product. Everything we will use SRS. So this SRS is a key role. It's playing a key role in software development. So we need to understand this SRS completely. Then only we can easily finish the product. So it is important to record and track all defects. So defect is anything. So we need to record why defects are occurred. What is the damage percentage on the remaining requirements? So when it was happen, what is the status of the defect? Like this way, we need to record the defect status during the software development process, so they can get addressed and fixed on time. So we need to fix the defect. We need to fix the defect. A good defect management system can help project managers achieve successful product development. So, good defect management system is required, which is useful to project managers in order to develop the product on time and deliver on time. So, that is it. This good defect management system will useful to test Q and Q, quantitative and qualitative analysis of the whole product, quantitative nature and qualitative nature of the whole product. So we are tracking the defects in order to test whether it is having quantitative, that is nothing but the various functionalities defined in requirements document and their quality are achieving or not. In order to do that, we'll find the defects and closing the defects. So we'll see. So defect tracking. What is defect logging and tracking? While identifying the defects, so when it was identified, so defect logging is a process of finding defects in the application under test or product. So process of finding defects in the application under test or product. So during testing only we can identify the defects by testing or recording feedback from customers and making new versions of the product that fix the defects or the client's feedback. So after fixing the defect, we need to plan the alternate solution. After implementing the alternate solution, we need to get approval from the client. Then only we can add this solution to the actual product development. Defect tracking is an important process in software engineering as complex and business critical systems have hundreds of defects. So sometimes these defects may be identified in terms of thousands. Sometimes if it is a large scale project, during development we can identify thousands of defects. So one of the challenging factors is managing the defects, evaluating the defects, and prioritizing these defects. So here we won't pay attention to all the defects, we will prioritize. So as we know that how the product development starts and finishes, so in terms of releases or in terms of various versions, so we will focus majorly which defects need to address immediately. Those defects are identified and addressed, I mean, planning the alternate solution and implement the alternate solution and adding to the existing, that is integrating with the existing. So here we are majorly focusing on which defects need to address immediately. Those defects are added or integrated immediately. Later, we'll add the remaining defects and releases as a new version. So that is a challenging task in software development. The number of defects gets multiplied over a period of time. So generally it is happening. So when one defect is identified in one module, when it is integrated with other modules, so it may support, may not support. If it support, no problem. It doesn't support, it leads to another problem. So generally it is happening with regression testing that you studied in software engineering, regression testing. So what do you mean regression testing? When we integrate two inputs, generates a third input. What called testing the third input is what called regression testing. So that is generally happening in the creation of data warehouse and databases. Okay. So when two inputs are tested, third input is generated. Testing the third input is what called regression testing. So industry focusing on regression testing. So in order to resolve the defects and to effectively manage them, defect tracking system is used to make the job easier. So we'll see defect life cycle. So these are the different parameters are used in the defect tracking. Defect ID. So we have to identify the defects and assign the number, the defect ID in which stage it is identified, that is analysis stage or design stage, implementation stage or coding testing stage, etc., etc. So if it is identified in development stage, in which model it is identified, like this way we need to identify. So we need to give a unique identification number for the defect and priority, the priority of the defect. So high priority or low priority or medium priority, and severity. So severity is nothing but we need to address the defect immediately or not. So that is paying more attention or not required. Created by developer or tester or designer or client. So client also sometimes can identify the defects. So it is created by. So I hope we discussed the definitions of error, defect, bug, etc., etc., and regular classes. So if you note it down, so please go through that. So what do you mean error? What do you mean failure? What do you mean fault? What do you mean defect? Okay. So created by whom? The analyst, a designer, a developer, a tester, a maintenance engineer, or client, etc., etc. Created date, on what date it was identified, assigned to whom. assigned to developer, or assigned to operations manager, assigned to test engineer. So like this way. And resolved date, identified date and resolved date, resolved by. So here the solution is prepared for the defect by either designer or developer or tester, any person, and status of the defect during the project development. So like this way, various parameters are identified and this is recorded. Now we'll see defect life cycle. So these are the various stages of the defect, the new defect. So what do you mean new defect? So potential defect that is raised and yet to be validated. So once the defect is identified by developer, we cannot say it is a defect. We need to get approved whether it is a defect or not. We need to finalize first. Okay. So that is in order to do that. Assigned against a development team to address it, but not yet resolved. So after identifying the potential defect, we need to assign a development team. So if it is identified testing team, so we need to give to the development team. So development team themselves identify. So themselves will identify one person and assign the defect to that particular person. So generally defects are identified by the test engineers as per the project plan, that is problem description. Test engineers will test the developed code and identifies the defects or bugs. So assign. Then so after assigning this particular team will resolve the defect and knows the status in terms of either rejected or deferred. So active status addressed by the developer and investigation is under progress. So during this stage we can determine or define the defect is either rejected or deferred. So deferred is nothing but we can find the solution for this defect in coming versions, in future versions. So best example for this is the cell phone companies are launching various products or various versions of their products. Take Samsung, Vivo, etc., etc. So every time they are adding a new feature, they are saying new feature that is increasing the camera pixels, the resolution ratio. So in terms of various categories. So deferred. So that is planning the solution for this defect for future versions. In future versions are rejected. So due to various problems, this defect may be rejected. So the it may be duplicate defect, not a defect. So someone says it is a defect. That is testing team says it is a defect. But after the assigning to development and development team may says it's not a defect. So non-reproducible. So like this way, it may be rejected, deferred for future release. So we can plan the solution for this defect in future releases. Then testing. Defect is fixed and ready for testing. So after fixing the defect and planning the alternate solution, after implementation, again go for testing. So when testing reopened. So if defect is not fixed, quality assurance team reopens or reactivates the defect. Quality assurance team, if it is not fixed, verified defect, that is retest and the test has been verified by quality assurance team. So different people, the analyst, designer, developers, testing, quality assurance engineers. So like this way different people are testing or working on the defects and finally closed. Final state of the defect that can be closed after the QA testing, after quality analyst testing the whole defect. If he confirms it is not a defect or identified solution for the defect, they will close the defect. So these are the stages of the life cycle of defect. So issue tracking. Now issue project managers work diligently to ensure that their projects get completed on time and on budget. So as a responsible project manager, I have to deliver the solution to the client by the given deadline and within the budget. So this is the key factor that we have to keep in mind as a project manager. So it is a challenging job because problems will inevitably arise from now here. So at any stage, the defects are identified or issues are identified from day one to day end. So we need to resolve all those defects, issues, bugs, errors, and so on. So many resources problems. So we need to find the solution. We need to deliver on time within the specified budget only. If these issues do not get identified and resolved promptly, the project can suffer extreme time delays and cost impacts. So, if the delay and cost, the difference between the cost, that is the planned or estimation cost, and implemented cost, if there is a low difference, if the difference is less, they can accept it. If it is more, so if it is taking more time, if the cost is increasing, so sometimes as a project manager, I need to answer for everything, why it is delaying. So like this, issues tracking. In that process, issues tracking. Issue tracking system is developed in order to track the issues. An issue tracking system provides an easy way to document issues, assign responsible party, and view the status of how the issue resolution is progressing. Responsible party means so that is responsible developers or test engineers or who are involved in that development. So identify the responsible party who will take the initiation to solve the or find the solution for the issues. Complete documentation of issues is critical to mitigate risks on current projects. Mitigation of risks. So various risks are identified like technology risks, product size risks, business risks, environmental risks, etc. etc. Risks are identified. So how to mitigate those risks? When issue tracking is integrated with project management system, all documentation. So when this is, so actually a different team is working on this. So when it is integrated with the project management system, all documentation and communication related to the project become centralized to provide complete transparency into project status. Actually, independent team or individual team is working on these issues. So if it is integrated with project management system, project management will know all the issues and the status of the issues and defects. Then we can assess the progress of the project products status. So these are the various parameters. Date the issue was identified, like defects. So on what date it is identified. So this is important to document when the issue was first identified and how long an issue is open. So that is the closing time of the issue. Issues that have long resolution times could be further investigated by performing a root cause analysis. The root cause is that is why the issue is happening, like failure or fault, not the error. Failure or fault. Finding the root causes why the issue is happening in the product development. And description of the issue. A thorough description of the issue along with potential impacts to a project should be noted, including pictures or video along with the pertinent annotations is vital to provide a visual reference to the issue documentation. So the complete description about the issues, where the issues occurred in a module or submodule or sub-submodule and so on. Issue priority. So we are giving the priority for the issues. When multiple issues need attention, setting a priority of low, normal or high will accurately present the hierarchy of which issues are most critical to impacting project success or need immediate resolution due to safety issues. So here we are giving priority low, normal, high. So high issues are immediately addressed. So low issues are later addressed. That is in terms of next version or next release. It's a responsible party by assigning the persons. So identifying the responsible persons responsible for resolving the issue, provides accountability. The transparency of an issue tracking system allows for the responsible parties to be held accountable for completing tasks and keeping the project moving forward. So, like this way, we need to identify the various parameters in issue tracking system. Due date. An issue tracking system should provide the ability to set reminders about target dates. When should we it is open, when should we have to close, when we have to close for those tasks to ensure the due dates do not get missed, which could jeopardize project closure dates. Setting reminders of due dates ensure that no task slip through the cracks, that is without violating or without overlapping the schedule. How to overcome these issues are addressed. Then status. So the visibility of issue status. So what is the current status of the issue and what date it was identified and what is the current status of the issue? Who is working on this issue? What is the status? Like this way, we'll collect a report from the people to know if any progress is being made. If there are bottlenecks or further approvals needed, it is important that these items be documented and plan of action created to resolve the issue. So we need to plan alternate solution if it is not overcome. How to overcome the issues? So like this way, we need to identify the various issues and issue tracking system. And these are the various issue tracking tools are available today in the market. So this is the link, so you can verify the various issue tracking system. As a project manager, I am the responsible from day 1 to day end until delivering the product. That is nothing but deploying the product at the client end. So I am the responsible person. So in that process in software development, from day 1 to day end, so like this way we have to track the reports, defects, issues, costs, effort, and various other parameters in software development.